Lake Hickory Scuba. You know, as an instructor, I get asked a lot of questions about what type of gear I use as a professional and what I would recommend to students to wear. And it's kind of a two-part answer there. First of all, when you're choosing gear, you need to choose what you feel comfortable wearing, whether it be a jacket-style BCD, whether it be a back inflate. So it's really what you feel comfortable and more on what type of diving you're going to be doing. You know, if you're into the cave diving, tech diving, you may want to go with like a side mount setup or something like that. But me as an instructor, I have two rigs. What we're going to go over today is what I wear when I'm teaching and what I wear when I just do a lot of fun diving. When I'm out just enjoying my dive, I do a lot of public safety diving, which I have a completely different set or a rig set up for that. But this is what I use when I teach and what you'll see me in if you just come and do one of the dives or go on a trip with us. This is what you're going to see me in. We're going to go over into detail on each piece of equipment. And as we do that, you can connect or click on a link and we'll go over a gear review for each several piece. Alright, so to start with, I'm kind of a smaller guy and I can make my air last, so I usually tend to dive with an aluminum 80. Dives, you know, well within my no decompression limit. I can usually get a good hour-long dive anywhere 60 foot up. Especially on reef dives, depending on what charter we're with, how long they allow us to stay down. You know, I'll get a good 60-minute dive out on an aluminum 80. So I just use the standard. I like a bright color tank like this yellow one here. It makes me more visible underwater, especially if I'm in a teaching mode and I've got several students, or if I'm leading a dive. And anytime they can turn, they can see the bright yellow tank, they know it's me, they can come to me with a question or a problem or whatever. Alright, the BCD I chose is the MRS Prestige MRS Plus. It's a jacket style BCD, and cool thing about it, the bladder system, there's no internal bladder, so to speak. It's the material itself. It's been fused to make a bladder out of it. So if you get any damages, it's pretty easy to repair. You're not actually having to take a bladder out, put a bladder back in. A lot of good features of this BCD. It's weight integrated, which I really like. I'm kind of old school, so I do wear a weight belt, especially when I wear a dry suit. But I do like the benefits of the weight integration BCD. A couple other features I really like is the dump valves. You know, you got your standard inflator exhaust, but I also have another shoulder dump. I can activate it here. And on the back side, I have a rear dump also if I decide to go vertical during my dive or descend head first. Really makes it easy. As far as the regulator goes, I use the Marez Abyss Navy 22. It's kind of their cold water reg. It's what they recommend for cold water. And living where I do a lot of cold water diving. I dive 12 months out of the year. So I chose the Navy Abyss 22. It's one of their top lines, but it's a great reg. I've not had any trouble out of it. I strongly recommend people trying it out. As far as octos, I use the Marez MV Octopus. Cool thing about it, the exhaust is here on the side. So if I'm donating my air to somebody, I can do this way. I can hand it to them this way. If they want to swim beside me, they can swim beside me. And it's got a yellow hose, which makes it very visible, but it's a longer hose. And with the exhaust, like I said, being on the side, I don't have to worry about kinking up my hose when I go to donate it. I can give it to them in any fashion. The way I attach it to my BCD, Marez makes this nice little plug that slides up inside your regulator. Basically, it just snaps into the regulator mouthpiece. The tabs on the mouthpiece slide in, and then I just use a standard carabiner to hold it onto the D-ring of my BCD. My console system, I use the Puck Air by Marez. It is air integrated. It's a neat little computer. Has everything I need. Depth gauge, pressure gauge, temperature gauge. It does my no decompression theories. And of course I always dive with a compass. I'm big on underwater navigation, so I always have a compass. The way I mount it is just a standard little 1-inch retractor. It just snaps into place. It's quick release. I can pull it out if I need to do navigation, look at my computer or whatnot. It snaps back in place. It's not down dragging on the reef or anything like that. And if you do notice, I do have an extra low pressure hose. Like I said, where I dive, it's a lot of cold water, so I do use a dry suit quite often. So all my regulator systems have extra low pressure hoses. It's set for during the summertime when I'm doing a lot of fun diving. This particular rig I will take it off of. But right now, being wintertime, I do leave it on. When I'm not diving a dry suit, like if I'm teaching in the pool, what I'll do is secure it behind me. And the cool thing about these trim pockets in the back, it allows for a little pocket. I can just slide it right down in there. I used to put it underneath my tank strap a lot, which is not a bad place to put it if you can get your strap and your buckle around. But at this point right here, if I go to lay my tank down, it is going to lay on the hose itself. Could damage the hose. So like I said, I like to put it down here in this little side pocket. It'll slide all the way down in. It's not in the way of anything. It can't get damaged if I lay it down. Another cool thing, if I'm not diving a dry suit and it's on here, I can put me a little air adapter. So if I'm doing search and recovery diving or need to lift something with a lift bag, I put that air adapter in there. I don't have to use my octo. I don't have to use my primary. So I have the air tool that I need on hand. So guys, that's pretty much the gear I use as far as my teaching setup and just my all-around fun diving setup. Like I said, I do have a separate rig that I use for public safety diving, but check each of these items out. We'll be doing gear reviews on the BCD, the regulator, the octopus, the computer system. And once again, check us out on Facebook. Make sure to watch all our videos, subscribe to us, and